Peace and blessing, good people. Pull back up on me here at Supermax, where it's the difference between a convict and an inmate. We just trying to keep that shit understood. This video here is about a close homie of mine that I did time with. Go by the name of Don Young, and rest in peace to him, and my condolences to the family. With that being said, let's get into this video, man. Let me pop my shit. Sometimes we end up in situations that we can't control. Sometimes those situations can end us up in confinement, incarceration, prison, county jail, so on and so forth. So I wanted to talk about a guy that went by the name of Don Youngin. Don Youngin was my co-defendant when I went to prison. I was 22 years old. I think Youngin was 17, 18, something like that. You know, we just knew each other in the neighborhood. When we end up in these situations, not everybody is able to adapt and keep that healthy sense of reality when it comes to making it and surviving in prison. Not saying that prison ain't reality, but still be able to keep intact your mental health. It doesn't always happen in prison where somebody get locked up or something, or get jammed up behind something, that they just go in there and everything is just easy, and it doesn't always happen like that. Honestly, it never happens like that. At some point in time during your bid, you're gonna have to stand up in that paint. That's neither here nor there. That's not what the video is about. The video is about not allowing your surroundings and your situation consume you. All right, so me and Youngin, we caught our case together, went down the road, ran into each other a couple times in the county jail, ran into each other a couple times in, down the road in prison. I'd be getting shipped out from one camp. He'd be getting shipped out from wherever he at. We run into each other at Jackson where, we jump on the Bluebirds and transfer and shit. But, out of all my co-defendants, he was probably the one that I got closest with. So he was a live wire, normal teenager shit. He was affiliated with an organization in the prison system that we have here in the South in Georgia called the Mob or Goodfellas. Me personally, I've never ever been a part of that organization, but I have a lot of brothers that are Muslim brothers of mine that are of that organization. Much respect to the Mob and all that, the solid ones. I spoke about that on another video. Y'all make sure y'all go check that out. Every single one of them. So he was a part of this organization, and of course they was into everything that was mafia orientated. Don't gotta go into all them details. But survival is one thing. Surviving and losing yourself in the midst of trying to just survive and adapt is where it can get dangerous. And I say dangerous for a couple of different reasons, because not just dangerous physically, but dangerous mentally as well. Especially if you got a date at the bottom of that paper and not no X's. I mean, if you allow this to consume you now, you definitely ain't gonna make it out there. You feel what I'm saying? It's dangerous in many different ways, but even more so dangerous while you in the chain gang, while you locked up still, because when you lose the sense of you, when you lose yourself and become that around you, it's hard to come back out of that. It keeps you in this, this constant cycle of bullshit, constantly. So facing your beard and understanding what it is you're facing is definitely something you want to consider. It's definitely something you want to think about while you preparing to go down the road to do your time. If you're in the county jail, that type of thing. Knowing that what you're facing is gonna consist of certain shit. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to survive, but keep a sense of yourself. Don't allow it to consume you. Be careful what you consume mentally and all that. The reason why I keep going back at that, being that the video is about Don Youngin, is because when I first met bro, he was a New York nigga. He was yo son, yo kid. You know how people up, new people from New York sound. He had a New York accent. No disrespect or anything like that to New York. Much love up top. It was a completely different thing once he caught his case and I started running into him while we were down the road. So it went from, yo son kid to shouter. He was scratching that shouter shit. He was scratching that city shit. He was kicking that Atlanta, real city Atlanta shit. You feel what I'm saying? It completely changed. So every time I met him, ran into him or whatever the case may be, I'm chopping up, boy, you good, you holding yourself down, that type of thing. Of course, like I said, he's a live wire, so he always talking about wetting something, popping something, all that, pulling up on something, all that, man, all this out. So, I used to tell him, man, like, you need to slow down, boy, you need to slow down. You're gonna run across a convict. You need to slow down. But, of course, he was youngin', man. He wasn't trying to hear all that. It was more about stripes, man. It was more about stripes. For him, it was more about, that type of thing. He was still going through that. He allowed his surroundings in the system, in the prison, consume him so much to the point where he completely changed his whole entire everything, from his accent to everything. And I'm not saying nothing bad about bro. That was my bro. We was in the dorm together. We ate together and all that. That was bro. Rest in peace, his soul, man. My condolences to the family. I'm just keeping it gangster. I'm just keeping it gangster because, that's just what can happen in the prison system. He became so consumed in what was going on that, he even, the lingo in which he spoke changed, and that can be dangerous. Bro got out on a Friday and he was dead by the end of that weekend. He was dead by Sunday. But you just got to be careful, man, when you're doing that time. Keep in mind, man, it's certain principles, certain shit to go by. You stick to that. And that's what it is. You get your mind ready, get your body ready, physically and mentally. That's what it is. That's how you program, that's how you prepare yourself for that war. And I'm not just talking about a physical war, a physical battle, I'm talking about a mental battle as well. But keep in mind that a lot of the shit that we do to survive in prison, a lot of the things that we have to do in prison to survive mentally, what I mean by that is pushing out all the things that can weaken you, and it makes you strong while we in there. But when you come out here, that bites you in the ass, because then you lose your sense of, how can I say, you can lose your sense of care, I guess. That's the best way to say it. You can just stop caring about certain things, because for so long you had to not care. You had to not think about it just to be able to make it mentally behind them walls. Not allowing the time, not allowing the pressure, what's going on around you, to make you fold, or make you forget who you are as a person, make you forget the fact that you're going home one day. Don't allow the time, don't allow the pressure to consume you. Don't get consumed by it. Don't consume that in which is not good for you. To touch on that for a minute, I didn't want to make the video too long. Once Once again, can't stress it enough. Rest in peace, rest easy. Dying youngin'. No disrespect intended behind this video towards anybody. Just touching on reality. The reality of incarceration and the reality of what it can do to you. That's what it is, man. I'm real life in the Supermax. It's the difference between a convict and an inmate. Let's keep that shit understood.